Yeah, I don't know. Another episode of the weekly vlog. So this is going to be episode, I believe, 7. There's pretty big news I'll get to later on. First off, if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, just down there, just subscribe. Pretty soon, I know I keep saying it, the content will start coming a little bit more consistently. I just have so much stuff going on recently. Haven't really had the time to do any kind of video content or like video related stuff. I've been taking a few photographs and like making a few reels with really half-assed thrown together stuff for YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that. So first thing I want to touch on is the LASFIT Rock Light Kit. As you guys saw, if you didn't, it was my latest video. I posted, when did I post that? Let's see here, 11 days ago. So that was just the unboxing. I've since installed it on the truck. I still have to install the last 2 rock lights. I'm doing it in between each side on the doors. So like right where the front door and back door, that seam is or whatever, right in the middle of the cab basically. So as of now, I have it set up, 1 in each wheel well. So I got 1 in the front, 1 in the back. And then because I'm not running my factory spare, because I have a full-size spare in the bed, I got rid of the factory spare tire under the truck and all the associated parts and stuff that went along with it. And if you have the Nissan Frontier, in the back they have like that subframe connector. It's probably like a 2-inch diameter, just a tube, like a steel, like hollow obviously, steel tube that runs from one side of the frame to the other, just like a subframe connector. So I took 2 of the LASFIT Rock Lights with the roll cage rubber mount, and I was able to mount one oriented so it would be like facing the front in an angle and then facing the back in an angle like this, right over the diff. And the coverage on the light is amazing. And once I add those final 2 lights to like under the doors, or in the middle of the cab, I'm gonna have full 100% coverage with the 8 light kit. And I'll obviously be showing you guys a video of that. I'll try to do that next weekend. Maybe during the week or something, just put together maybe like an 8 to 10 minute video of how I ran the wiring, where I ran it, how I managed any of the excess cable to keep it kind of neat in the engine bay, or as neat as I could for what it is, without starting to hack too much stuff up. For the most part, the lengths on the lights are pretty good. They have 2 shorter ones and then 2 longer ones that come in the 4 light kit. Then when you get the 8 light kit, the extra 4 lights they provide you will all be the longer length. So I think it's like 12 feet or something like that, maybe 15. I'm not too sure on that. I'd have to look into it. But for the most part, I would route the cabling up to where it's going to be going to the aux beam and the whole harness and everything for the rock lights. I would run it up to that, and I would tie wrap it along the way, but I'd leave the tie wraps loose. So once I pull all the slack up into the engine bay and I connect everything, I can just pull all that slack back to the location and figure out where I just want to coil up maybe that extra foot or 2 of cable so it's out of the engine bay and it's also not going to get messed up under there, under the frame somewhere or whatever. So yeah, that's the rock lights. A bunch of stuff has happened since then. The company Peak Suspension, I have their trail kit, 2.5 inch trail kit on the truck now. It's reservoirs on all 4 corners, adjustable high-speed damping, low speed, preload, ride height adjustable, coilovers. I mean, they're insane. The Koni 82 series I had from All Dogs, they're good. They're great for what they are, but the Peak Suspension stuff is on like a whole nother level. The only downside to the Peak Suspension is the lower perch for the strut. It's pretty low, and it's not. It almost contacts the CV axle. I think CBI, their CV axle rubs it slightly on full compression, which I tested, and it's pretty close. It's like super duper close. but it's not to the point where I'm worried about it. And I reached out to Peak. I asked them, like, hey, is this like gonna cause a catastrophic failure here? Like, did you guys test it? So long story short, everything's good. The ride quality on these things is outstanding. The damping at the high speeds on the highway and stuff, hitting like any dividers that you would usually feel like a little jarring, like, oh shit, what was that? Like, that's gone. Like, this thing's like it's riding on little cherubs or the little guys with the bow and arrows. Those guys, they're little ass cheeks. It's like I'm riding on a bunch of those. Actually, not. I don't know. That sounds kind of weird. I'll just say it's like I'm riding on clouds. It's super soft. It's a very responsive ride. And I don't run a front sway bar on my truck. I've removed it. I've had it off now for years. With the Koni 82 series and their special heavy Koni springs with the Z1 1.5" leveling spacer, the ride was somewhat rough. And it still somehow had a decent amount of body roll around turns at speed. With this Peak suspension, that body roll that I had previously is gone. It's like I am driving with the front sway bar on again, but I have full articulation. The cool thing about the Peak suspension too is their kits come with specific mounts for their reservoirs for the front struts that are for the application. It's not like some universal thing where you're using like band clamps and a bunch of like rinky-dink jerry-rig stuff. This stuff interfaces right into the frame, so there's like a little square hole in the frame in the front portion of the wheel well, and they have a bolt that goes through there. Put a washer on the other side, you pancake it on there, you tighten it up, and you're good to go. And it's really nice too because the the reservoir mounts, it's an Allen key you loosen up, and then it's a hinged clamp, I guess. So you open it up, slap the reservoir in, close the hinge over it, tighten it up, and you're good to go. The install was super easy, seamless. It only took me in my driveway maybe 2.5 to 3 hours tops. I don't think it took me 3 hours. I got lucky though, because normally my upper ball joints like don't want to come out of the shackle or whatever the hell that thing is in the front. Yeah, I forget what it's called. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. The ball joint that's in the upper control mount, that goes into the spindle. That's what it is. So usually it's kind of frozen in there sometimes. But luckily I was able to, obviously, the best way to do it is to jack it up so there's some tension to pull it out. Then you're gonna loosen the castle nut to the point where the castellated parts are extended past the face or the bottom part of the bolt. You're just gonna hit that a few times with the hammer, and that usually frees it up, or like a little mini sledge or whatever. But yeah, Peak suspension, super nice. I'll do a video on that pretty soon. I'm gonna definitely have to show you guys this stuff because it's insane. The back reservoirs, everything too is like already set up. So the rear shocks have the reservoirs already mounted in a way which is gonna keep them out of the way of everything. And the whole system is just so clean. And it matches the color of the truck. It's super nice. It's black, silver, and white, I believe, and blue. Black, silver, white, and blue. And like a gunmetal grayish color, and it all goes with the truck perfectly. And then also CaTuned skid plate. I put that on. I think I talked about it last time maybe. So that was on. But in the back section, and it's nothing against Max or the dudes at CaTuned Off-Road because it wasn't intended to be ran with other manufacturers' products. So in the back of the skid plate, say here it is here, there's the radiator right here. That's the front coming down, and here's the bottom section. Then they have this little lip that's in the back that's kind of, I guess it would bring it flush to the frame. But when you're running a transmission skid plate in that place already in place there, it doesn't allow that little back angled area to fully get up because they have the mounting for these skid plates from CaTuned is slightly recessed from the plate, so the plate isn't going to be right against the frame, which is nice because it gives it some leadway and some space if something gets damaged. So That said, I ran it like that for a while, and the back, it was kind of like, it wasn't really flush, it was more like this, because I couldn't get it to sit flush because the Z1 transmission skid plate was impeding the ability of that CaTuned skid plate to fully get up there and be flush with the frame. So I just took a Sawzall, marked everything out, used a chalk line, and cut off that lip on the back of the CaTuned one. I cut the whole lip off. Retrospect, looking at it, I only had to probably cut about half of it off and it would have angled up completely flush perfectly with that Z1 skid plate. But either way, it all interfaces in super nice now. There's just like a little gap, probably like a 1/4 inch, and the CaTuned one was probably like that much lower. I'm not worried about getting caught on stuff. For the most part, you're gonna be going forward over things, not backwards. And if you're going backwards, it's not really gonna matter because that CaTuned skid plate is like, I think it's 3/16 of an inch. It's a thick boy. So I'm not worried about that getting damaged, honestly. And if that gets damaged, then there's probably something bad. My wheels, I got the new wheels on. Obviously, I don't know if I talked about that last video, but it's a 295/70/17 Mickey Thompson Baja Boss ATs, mounted on the 17x8 0mm offset, Black Rhino Aliso wheels. And I had them well, not mounted, but balanced here in Watertown, New York, where I live. All the shops suck. I'm just gonna say it. All the shops around there suck. So I ended up having to go back to Massachusetts, back home anyways, to go get an inspection sticker. When I was there, I had the wheels rebalanced, and some of them were off by, it was like, one was off by over 10 ounces, which is crazy. That's almost a pound. How can you be off of balancing a wheel by almost a pound, dude? I don't know if they did it backwards here or something, or they had like a special needs, like Make-A-Wish Foundation kid doing the wheel balancing. I don't know. I honestly don't know. So yeah, the wheels are good. Everything's all set with that. The alignment, I don't know if I touched on that either. My lower control arm mount in the front of the truck got crushed in. I'm not sure when that happened. So I was able to unbend that. I had the alignment checked. Somehow the alignment was actually better than when I had it aligned previously. Don't know how that happens, but hey, whatever. I'll take that. That's a win. And then let's see what else there is to talk about here. Oh, cameras. This will be the last time that I'm going to be filming on this camera. Possibly. I have a Panasonic Lumix S5ii or S5 second generation. I don't know. Either way, it's a Lumix S5, the new version, and I am super stoked on this because this camera is good. It does what it has to do. It's an entry-level camera. I'm just gonna put it at that. It's an entry-level camera. And knowing now, if I knew now what I knew then, or back then, or when, or how, or who, I don't know. But anyways, if I knew now what I knew then, I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but you know what I'm saying.
I'm retarded?
I wouldn't have got this camera. I would have probably opted for a little bit pricier option that could do better video recording, because I can't really color grade too much with the Canon R100. It doesn't really shoot in a vlog. I don't think it shoots in anything besides just like normal recording. But the Lumix S5 is gonna be pretty awesome in terms of content. I'll be able to get you guys way more high quality content coming out. And like I said, granted, I only have, I don't know, like, what do I have here? Let's find out here. Subscribers. Got 177 of you guys subscribed to me. So you guys are gonna get to see the progression. If you haven't yet, you can look at some of the older videos, but you'll get to see slowly this progression working up and working up. Because I have been putting in a massive amount of time. At one point, it was like a week and a half ago, I was thinking about stepping away from some of this stuff for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, everything started to gain momentum, all the time and the work I've been putting in, not to like toot my own horn, but I've been putting in an exorbitant amount of time into this. Probably more so than, I want to say, honestly, probably more so than anyone with the 3rd gen Frontier that I can think of. I'm not just saying that in like a bombastic, like dickhead type of way. I'm saying that as like an honest, me talking to whoever's on the other side of this type of thing. Like, I don't think people realize how much time it takes to do all this stuff. And you get burnt out sometimes from doing it, because you don't really get time to process stuff when you're trying to constantly get stuff for the truck and do stuff to the truck and try to get this content out. And I got to a point where it just felt like I didn't have time for stuff, other things. And on top of that, the way I was doing it, I was almost forcing myself to try to go out and get stuff. And then, like I said, the momentum started catching up from all this time and stuff I've been investing in this. And I ended up securing an ambassador / affiliate spot with Diode Dynamics, which is absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. I am so excited about that. I started meeting more and more better people, probably within the last few weeks. Company-wise, PerryParts, the owner Patrick, great guy with the BumpStops. He did send out, I don't know if I posted the video, but the finalized ones, they're on the truck now. Might need a few little tiny minor tweaks here and there, but I'm gonna wait to kind of bring that to his attention. I mean, maybe if he sees this, whatever, but I wanna try to meet him in person to show him his product on the vehicle, because he's been doing all this without seeing it on the truck physically himself. So he's been absolutely crushing it, in my opinion. It's super hard to make a product without physically seeing the, I guess the vessel or the vehicle, or whatever you want to call it, that the product is going to be implemented in. It's pretty hard to do, honestly. And he did a great job. And the BumpStops in the back, I did send him the mounts for the factory BumpStops. So those ones are absolutely money. The front ones, insane. Like, everything was specific for a Nissan Frontier. It's not a universal thing like a Timbren SES or a Duro Bump or Super Bump, where it's like, hey, we'll just take this one from a Tacoma and we'll just put it on a Frontier. No, this is for a Frontier, specifically for a Frontier. And in my opinion, not just because I know the owner Patrick now at this point, and he's a great guy, and I'm not just saying this because of that, but I believe that the way that he 3D prints these and the material that is used, it's gonna outlast a regular injected molded bump stop tenfold. I don't give a crap what anybody says. There's no way, because injected rubber, it's been the same, it's been around for forever. And now you got this guy coming into the whole scene here, 3D printing stuff. He was an Apple engineer, worked at General Electric or General Dynamics or something like that as an engineer also. But he has a pretty deep engineering background. He has a passion for off-roading also. And it's cool to see someone apply all that knowledge into something they're passionate about. And just, I mean, the sky's the limit for him. I'm super happy for him. It seems like things are starting to work out in his favor also. And I'm gonna assume he's putting in a lot of work, because he's been on some podcasts recently, and I'm just happy for him, man. That's good for him. And anyways, so yeah, Diode Dynamics, I reached out to them a few weeks back. I kind of ended the thing with Vivid Lumen. It ended on great terms. I talked to them, I was like, hey, I like your guys' products, you're an awesome company, but I just had an opportunity to work with a company that's based in America that's only a few states away, and it's just easier for me because I don't want to have to pay the shipping for Vivid Lumen and then have to wait like 2 to 3 weeks for products when I can just order stuff from Diode Dynamics and it's at my door like that, because I think they're out of Missouri and I'm in New York, so it's like Missouri, New York, it's not too far away. So yeah, I ended up talking to them, ended on good terms, suggested a few other Nissan I guess, social media pages for them to possibly reach out to do some collaborations with, because they have a pretty cool product coming up soon. I'm not gonna say it because I don't think I'm at liberty to discuss something that's not released yet on Vivid Lumen's part, so I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it's pretty cool, and it matches the FNG5, but there's also another cool option that's included. And it's basically just a smaller FNG5, and that's all I'll say, and it's pretty dope. So anyways, yep, Diode Dynamics, I have a code you guys can use. It's an affiliate code. It will score you free shipping. I can't get you guys an actual discount percentage, like price off their actual product, because of the way their pricing is with the dealers and distributors and stuff like that. I can't get you guys a lower price based off of that stuff. What I can get you is free shipping, which honestly could save you upwards anywhere from 25 to like 50 bucks, depending on how large your order is. But yeah, I mean, I've already made a decent few bucks from the Diode Dynamics program. I do have that's the other thing too. I'm all over the place because it's been a while and I've done a lot. So FreedomOutfitters, I got their FogLight, I guess, replacement bracket from a forum member of Club Frontier, this dude trucking. I think his name was Dave, I believe. He was a good guy. So I paid a few bucks, way less than what it would have cost me to get it. So for the bracket, a Diode Dynamics SSC2 SAE fog pattern in yellow. I got a kit of both of them in Pro, so it has the amber backlight and stuff. I forget the lumen and the candela output of those lights. I'd have to look it up. Don't really want to do that right now. But long story short, it allows you to remove the factory LED projector fog light or factory halogen fog light housing, and you replace it with these two SAE Diode Dynamics pods on each side. And the brackets are nice because they have multiple slots, so you can move and aim the light wherever you want it to be. There is another company that's coming out with something soon. I think it's like Fox Designs company or something, but they're using a Diode Dynamics SAE two-pod thing also, and theirs is like a plastic bezel. The only thing that I would be wary about with theirs is it's not aimable, so you can't aim it. So in my opinion, I mean, you're kind of stuck with what you get, which I don't really like, honestly. It looks better, but the actual like use of it, I don't think it's a nice looking design, but I don't think it's like a very usable design, because however the fog lights are gonna be, they're gonna be. You can't aim them certain directions off one way and then have one this way or something like that, you know what I mean? So yeah, I have that, and I also got, sorry, kind of tired. They have the way Diode Dynamics has their stuff set up, they have a 4-pin Deutsch splitter that runs off. It's like the two Deutsch connector 4 pins back to the single 4-pin, and I just plugged that into each one of the lights, plugged that 4-pin female into their, I believe it's the H11 conversion DRL harness, which allows you to plug in to the H11 factory plug, I guess. And then you take the other end and you'll plug it into the Deutsch connector, and it's a seamless integration. You don't have to cut any wiring, you don't have to solder anything. Actually, I take that back. The only thing you have to cut and solder would be the backlight. You're gonna have to find your power for the backlight. For me, I just ran my backlight wires. I ran the driver's side up, over, like behind the grill area, and then I ended up cutting it, soldering it in with the passenger side one, so they meet up like here, solder it together, and then it carries through to the aux beam. So I have the backlight controlled by the aux beam, and then once I replace the Heretic pods with Diode Dynamic SS3s for the ditch lights, I'm gonna get the yellow Combo Pros with the amber backlight. The backlight for that will run to the same one as the fog light, and then the Vivid Lumen FNG5s up front will be replaced by the SS5s, And same scenario, the backlight is gonna run to the aux beam, and I'll be able to just turn on all the backlights at once with the press of one button on the aux beam. And let's see, rock lights, tires, skid plates, Diode Dynamics, Peak Designs, or not Peak Designs, Peak Suspension, PerryParts. Let's see, I don't know if there's anything else I can think of off the top of my head. Oh, pretty soon also, I believe I have to work out the final details with Max over at CaTuned. We're gonna try to get some kind of thing going here where I can get you guys a discount code for the skid plates and possibly the bumper. I'm not sure if CaTuned is gonna keep making the Nissan Frontier products because not that many people are buying them. The market's pretty limited, it seems like, at least for now, because people's trucks are still under warranty, but I think in another year or two, once some of these people's warranty starts to run out for that 36,000 mile bumper to bumper thing or whatever, the full coverage, you might start to see the market pick up a little bit in terms of people purchasing aftermarket parts for their trucks because they won't be so afraid of voiding warranties and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get you guys that discount with CaTuned for their skid plate, their bumper, possibly like any products, maybe. I don't know how it's gonna work, if it's just gonna be the skid plate or the bumper, or both, or all the Frontier products, or the whole site. I don't know. Me and Max will have to try to work that out. If he sees this, I just wanna say thanks, Max, you're a good dude, one of the best. And CBI's rear bumper should be coming out pretty soon, possibly. I believe they're just working on the radar blind spot monitoring sensor detector thing, which seems like a lot of companies are having issues with the Nissan. I'm not 100% sure if these other companies that say theirs actually work, because I don't know if CBI is just like pulling the fleece over my eyes here, but if CBI can't figure it out in like a realistic time frame, how did these companies already make something that supposedly works? I feel like it might not work 100% because for the most part, CBI won't release something unless they know it's gonna work. Some of these other companies probably don't have the same values and just want some money, and they're like, let's just release it. Now that said, I'm gonna try to wait as long as I can for that rear bumper to come out because I want CBI's rear bumper. Victory 4x4 one, maybe, it all depends. The Desert Runner one, I personally don't like. It is what it is, I said it, whatever, get over it. I mean, people have opinions, and my opinion is, I don't think it's that great. I'm just saying, the lead times are super long. Nothing against the company, I'm just saying, the lead times are very long, and the whole interface of ordering stuff is kind of lacking from the website standpoint. Victory 4x4 is a pretty good website. Their price is kind of high, honestly. I would maybe run that one if I had no choice. Other than that though, I'm just gonna wait for CBIs to come out. And then at one point I was contemplating on possibly changing over my roof rack from front runner to the Prinsu Pro, but I'm not sure where the mounting holes would be, and I don't want to have to drill holes. I don't mind drilling more holes, but I just don't want to drill holes super close to something that's already compromised from drilling previously. If it was like nowhere near where I had to just drill out, it wouldn't be that bad. I can just patch up those holes, kind of fill them in, and throw some touch-up paint there or something, or whatever, just to hide it. Other than that, I think that's it, guys. Oh, and the discount code for the Diode Dynamics is gonna be D41 Mall Crawler, like everything else. Also, it's D41 Mall Crawler, I believe, for 15% off LASFIT products. Not just the rock lights, but their floor mats, replacement LED headlights, replacement LED fog lights, interior lights, all the whole website, 15% off with D41 Mall Crawler.